The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Ladies and gentlemen, this broadcast is made possible by the Spreely Network. It is the network, Spreely, for free thought and free people. I want you to go to your app store and download their Freedom Hub. Do it today, ladies and gentlemen. It's much too important. We depend on you. Freedom is waiting. The Freedom Hub from Spreely. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. A big show today. Will he or won't he? Administrator Biden, not announced yet, says now he might not announce until September or October. What is up with that? We're going to talk about it. Who's going to run if he doesn't? We're going to talk about that. What about the issues that they face as a Democratic Party? Now they're the Communist Socialist Party. There's no doubt about that. We're going to talk about it. And the soaring of President Trump. He's back and his poll numbers are incredible. All of this and more. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and his divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for watching us from around the planet. We appreciate you. And it is clear. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Liberals are intellectually immature, and we point that out every day on the program here. The crumbling of Joe Biden becoming more and more apparent, and it's becoming more and more often that we see it. His handlers have pushed out yet again his announcement as to whether or not he's going to run for president in 2024. At first, they said it was going to be somewhere in the midterm election season or thereby or therefore just shortly after the midterm elections. Then they said it was going to be sometime after Christmas. Hang on, everybody, maybe after Christmas. Then, no, we think more of a springtime announcement, ladies and gentlemen, a springtime announcement of all of that. Now they're saying that they're going to wait until September or October of this year to make an announcement. Now, something is up. At least it appears as if something's up. If it's not, and it's clearly not Biden's popularity that's up. That's going down. It's going in the opposite direction. A new poll released by one of the most reputable pollsters out there. I know that we don't give a lot of attention to polls because polls typically can be wrong, but Rasmussen usually does a good job. And Rasmussen did a poll just a few days ago where it shows that President Trump leads Administrator Biden by 7 points, a 47 to 40% edge President Trump has. And that's in the swing. It's a swing of 10 points since the beginning of March. And it's undoubtedly because of, at least partly because of the sham indictments that were brought against President Trump. I think there's a rebound effect for Trump and a boomerang effect for Administrator Biden. And it just begs the question, with that kind of a bounce for Trump, and with everything that we see, every news clip, everything that we see of Biden on TV, is he actually going to run for re-election at 80, in his mid-80s? I mean, in the beginning phases of his campaign Administrator Biden, I mean, when you look at what he's going to have to face, I mean, we look at everything in this country. Purposeful chaos, just a debacle of an economy, wreckage of violence, everything that he's going to have to face in a campaign, provided that he answers questions. Are we going to have another basement campaign, Joe? Are you actually going to come out and meet reporters and have real gatherings and so forth? We have the chaos, the crime, the fuel prices, the food prices, the debacle in Afghanistan, the war in Ukraine, the collapse of the dollar, the collapse of our banking systems, and all of the chaos in general. We can go down a list, folks, that has been thrust upon us since he was handed the office. And will he duck the questions? Will he campaign from more places than just his basement? Will he have rallies? Will those rallies be well attended? I think we all know the answer to these questions, folks. And it wouldn't surprise me if, in fact, that the Communist Socialist Party refuses to support him in another run, that they're going to have back office rooms and drink their scotch and smoke their cigars and their pipes. And it wouldn't surprise me if they pull the plug on him. He's been on life support since he ran, and clearly it's evident now that he's even more so. Will President Obama and Susan Rice and the rest of the people who are actually running the show step in and say that's enough? On behalf of the Communist Socialist Party, Joe, and the 25th Amendment, we're going to give you a nice, big, fat golden parachute where you can drift off into civilian life. Never mind that Biden's been collecting his own golden parachute from China and Ukraine since even before his days as vice president. So going way back into his terms in Senate, he has been pilfering money and getting money any way he can from China, the Ukraine, and other places. But we will give the government, the Communist Socialist Party, will undoubtedly have these meetings with him, and they'll give him a golden parachute. Hey, here's X amount of millions of dollars. Go off and live your life the 2 days that you have left of it, and have a good time, Joe. And they will make it all as pleasant as possible for him. And waiting in the wings, ready to become the next nominee of the Communist Socialist Party, formerly known as the Democrat Party, is Michelle Obama. Now, it's not far out of the realm of possibility. In fact, some insiders are saying it's more likely than what most people are actually thinking right now. Some of you out there have been speculating about this for a long time. I grant you that. And it doesn't surprise me because you are, having watched this program, you are the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land. We all have our opinions about Big Mike, but it would be a formidable challenge, you have to admit, to overcome. Not only would Michelle have the entire Communist Socialist Party behind her, you have to admit she's popular. There are people in the country that would love to see a woman president, and a black woman president at that, and to set the president of a husband as president, now his wife as president. I think we can overcome her, and I'm going to get and talk to some specifics about that later in the program. I believe that we have the majority of the people on our side of this republic who have had enough of the Obamas. They've had enough of the destruction, the chaos, and the so forth that this Communist Socialist Party has bequeathed us on their behalf, and all of the things that they stand for. I mean, again, just a partial list: the false accusations, the witch hunts of a sitting president and a former president now, leading contender for the major parties candidate again, Trump. They're still persecuting him. Biden may be a foregone conclusion at this point. Maybe he is going to step aside and say so long. Maybe that's all fine and well, but we may not have to worry about him at all, precisely because of the major issues that are preparing to cascade down upon him. And again, just to get more specific, the Biden family involvement with China. This is all part of the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, folks, and it is cascading down now upon him. And it will remain with him throughout his campaign. You can count on that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you also in the program about how we can win, what he's going to have to face in particular. But I want to also warn you that part of the problem he faces is this thing with China, the spy balloon thing. This was a big deal. A Chinese spy balloon flew across our country. Now, you never know what these kinds of balloons can carry. Sometimes they can be outfitted to carry an electromagnetic pulse device, an EMP, which will fry your home's electrical circuit or your automobile's electrical circuits, and you won't be able to go from point A to point B or have power in your home. But this little device that I'm holding in my hand, if you're watching the program, if you're listening to the podcast, head over, or if you're watching, head over to EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com, ladies and gentlemen, and you will be safe. Your power will not be fried from your home. You'll be able to get from point A to point B in your vehicle. You use promo code Doug when you head over there, EMPShield.com. You'll get a huge discount. You'll get some other perks over there as well. EMPShield.com, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you do it today. You can never be too sure. We've got to have each other's back. And one more way that we do that is that we look, and we're going to talk about it in today's program, the banking crisis. The FDIC does not have enough money to cover losses. If your bank goes under, the FDIC has already spent all of its money on the SVP Bank and the Signature Bank crisis in California. They're done. They're broke. Now, look, we have got to have each other's bank. RightSide.Gold and Silver. Have each other's bank, have each other's back, and take care of one another. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Ladies and gentlemen, all it is information over there. And if you want to take further steps, you can certainly do that. Get information about how you can invest in gold and silver. You do not have to be wealthy to do this. Protect your 401k and your retirement fund. Protect the cash that you have on hand in your bank. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. There's even a way, if you want to help other people do this, to build a business so that you can escape corporate America and their mandates and their shutdowns and so forth and be your own boss. And there are people making upwards of $7,000 a week doing this. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we are in this together. I've got your back. I know you've got mine. I'm going to take a short break, a very short one. I'll be right back on the other side of this trip into capitalism, and we'll talk more about the crumbling of Joe Biden, the rise of Trump, and who the candidates may be that he faces in 2024. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, Electro Magnetic Pulse. Electro Magnetic Pulse, ladies and gentlemen, it can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPShield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. I'm Doug Billings, talking about the right side of health. Becoming the best version of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is important. You see this device over here? It's a little water, hydrogen water, ladies and gentlemen, hydrogen-infused water. The health benefits of this are incredible and well documented. I want you to go to holyhydrogen.com. Look this machine up. Use the promo code Doug to get $100 off. They have a payment plan. They have a top tier 1 customer service center. You're going to want to take advantage of this and learn all about it. It takes care of the swelling in your gut. It clears up mind fog. Listen, cancer, glaucoma, the results of the jab, all of these things have been documented to show increased benefits by virtue of infused water with hydrogen. Holyhydrogen.com, ladies and gentlemen. Promo code Doug. Believe it for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings. The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Right Side with Doug Billings, where I admit I take a great deal of joy and pleasure dispensing to you the intellectual maturity that you need to become part of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land. So Biden crumbling, Trump rising up. And yeah, it's happening. You look at the TV, you listen to him on this Biden character can't get from point A to point B without his handlers telling him where his mark is or where he has to go, what exit. It's all crumbling. And what he's going to have to face when if he announces that he's going to run for president again. We already talked about the Biden crime family involved with China, all of the money that was given to not only Hunter, but now other members of the family. There are subpoenas in place and testimony set to begin about all of this, folks. So all of you who have been hungering for justice, the wheels of justice are now beginning to turn. We're going to be able to see what happens. I know. Look, it's never expeditious. It's never expedited. It's never fast. This justice that we seek, it takes time. So over the next few weeks and months, we're going to see witnesses being brought forth. Jim Jordan and others are calling them forth, and they're going to bring documents. There's going to be questions and requests, and there will be other information obtained, and it will all be pertinent to what we need to know as to whether or not justice will be served or not. And we'll just have to see what it brings forth. I think that, to what extent the Biden family was involved. I mean, with China, we know it because it's on the laptop, and they did everything they could during the 2020 presidential election to tell us all that was nonsense. Oh, don't pay attention. That's just Russian disinformation. And the media went with it. And most of the population of the United States, not all, but most, went with it. And now we know that was bogus. We were lied to. Clearly, we know now that the Hunter laptop issue is a genuine one. And on that laptop, there is information about money laundering in China, the Ukraine, God knows what kind of pornographic material may be on that laptop. And no one should doubt, or no one really can doubt, that we all knew about this prior to 2020, but everyone on the left wouldn't do it. The media and everyone and the rhinos, they wouldn't take that action. And the laptop issue was considered a myth or nonsense when it was in fact genuine, real, and criminal. So we're now at the point where we're finally going to take a look at this thing. Okay. So again, the wheels of justice don't turn necessarily as fast as we want them to. But I think that there's a real chance that Administrator Biden would have never been given the White House had we known the truth about Hunter's laptop, that it was in fact genuine. I don't think the American people would have put up with it. I know that we get into the issues of the machines and so forth, but I think that it would have been such a major component of that campaign that Biden either would have had to withdraw or it would have been just over from the beginning had we known the truth about the laptop. And because of information that was given to us by our own intelligence agencies that was inaccurate and false, we were led to believe, and we were manipulated into thinking that it was all misinformation. And it would be a good time to remind you that this Russian disinformation that they said was really there, that I have done a 2-part series on the man named Vladimir Putin. Who is this guy? What are the reasons behind his actions? What's his psychology? What's he made of? Why does he do what he does? And he's not the guy who you think he is. Trust me on that. He is not the guy who is portrayed in the media in this country. Think about it for a minute. If the mainstream media in the United States, or anybody on the left side of the political spectrum, were to describe someone to you, how confident would you be that that description is an accurate one? If Administrator Biden and the Communist Socialist Party were trying, and rhinos were trying to paint a picture of a certain person, a European leader, would you believe what they've said after everything we've been through the last 4 years? The lies that have been told us already? So if Joe Biden and the Communist Socialist Party, formerly known as the Democrat Party, are trying to convince us that Russia and Putin are bad, then how do we know that the opposite is really probably the case? How do we not know? Well, I took a look at Putin, and there's a Understanding Putin Part 1 and Part 2 at DougBillings.us. You can head over there or go to the BillingsReport.com. Check it out and comment on it. You can see it in Rumble as well, but check it out and leave a comment. Let me know what you think, because he's not who you think he is, folks. And I'm telling you, I don't want to steal any of my own thunder, but he has been maligned and misidentified for nearly, well, his whole public life. So I'll leave it at that and hope that you go watch that two-part series. But we're going to start now, since these subpoenas are coming forth, witnesses are going to be called, information is going to be shared. We're going to start to learn about Hunter Biden's business partners, his colleagues, his connections to China, and the entire Biden family connection, not only to China and the Ukraine, but other countries as well. And the testimony that we are going to hear during those congressional hearings will be that Joe Biden's personal income since the time of his vice presidency through the current day has been directly from China. From China directly to Joe, or in some cases from China to Hunter, to other members of the family, and to other businesses like the Penn Biden Center. Now, isn't that a beauty? The Penn Biden Center is where, just to refresh your memories, that's where a treasure trove, the dozens of boxes of secret, top secret, and classified documents that Administrator Biden had taken, again, when he was vice president. And the vice president, any vice president, does not have the right to declassify top secret documents and to take them with him when he leaves office. Trump did have that right as president, but a vice president does not. So this was the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and International Relations, ladies and gentlemen, where, yes, it was at the forefront of the scandal at which Biden was accused, and many documents found, all of which were top secret or classified, and yet nothing was done, or at least not yet. The wheels of justice, as again I said, are slow, and now it's going to come to light. So we will see what Joe had, and we will see what he took when he was vice president. And yes, the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and International Relations, otherwise known as how to use your elected position to get paid under the table from communist nations, will be held accountable. So, and lest we forget, this center, the Penn Biden Center, rather, for Diplomacy and International Relations, was created by Joe Biden. All right. He created it. It's his deal. It wasn't, it wasn't like a fan club of Joe Biden. It wasn't a government agency. Joe Biden started it. And the center that Joe Biden created paid him $1 million a year when he was out of office, from the time he left as vice president till the time he was given the Oval Office. $1 million a year. And lest we forget this, the center also kept Joe's future Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, on the payroll, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny, it's a win day for everybody. Anybody who knows Joe gets a little bit of the windfall. Come on down, Anthony Blinken. You're the next player on the Penn Biden Center for International Diplomacy and Scandal. And Joe is the one who set it all up. Ladies and gentlemen, money laundering. I'll leave it at that and remind you that if you want the best cup of coffee in your life, for those of you that have met me on the road at the Clay Clark event, the Java Boost coffee, the best coffee you'll ever taste, cupahealth.com, cupahealth.com, cupahealth.com. Head over there, use promo code Doug when you get that stuff. It's delicious. It'll get to your house in just a few days, and I will see you on the other side of this incredible trip into capitalism. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Doug Billings here on the set of my show, The Right Side. I am standing shoulder to shoulder with Mike Lindell and his employees over at MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Billings when you go over there to MyPillow.com. Everything that you need. You already know about the sheets, the pillows, obviously the pillows, the slippers, the best slippers in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They even have dog beds and pet beds over there. I've got 2 of them for my service dog, Jet. Absolutely, I do. MyPillow.com. Stand shoulder to shoulder with me and Mike Lindell as we support his employees as he endeavors to become one of the refounders, if you will, one of the refounding fathers of our republic. It's the least we can do. MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Please, ladies and gentlemen, MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Believe it, for the republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, Electro Magnetic Pulse. Electro Magnetic Pulse, ladies and gentlemen, it can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPShield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, where truth, honor, logic, and freedom rain down like manna from heaven over here. We are one of the last bastions of truth and news and integrity that you'll find out there. I know that you believe it. Head over to DougBillings.us, please, ladies and gentlemen. DougBillings.us, and click on the subscribe button and support us over there, please. Everything that we do with regards to the show is free of charge. We never charge for you to listen or to watch the program, but it does take effort and time and money to produce it. And this is what I do for a living. So I'm asking you to help support me and the program so that we can continue to bring it to you. We do, as I say, have each other's back. We walk shoulder to shoulder and we try to bring you the truth. We do bring you the truth. DougBillings.us. There is a support tab over there. If you click on that membership tab, you can choose various levels. The most common is $10 a month, or if most people want to get out of that, get all of that out of the way, and there's a $120 a month package as well. But there are others, and also at the BillingsReport.com, you can head there and do the same thing. So DougBillings.us or BillingsReport.com will get you to where you need to be. So Anthony Blinken on the payroll, the Biden Penn Center for International Diplomacy and Laundering of Money, all set up by Biden, paying him $1 million a year while he's out of office. Now, so, I believe that a moral person usually has moral results in life, that if you live a good life, good things will eventually come to you. And yes, there are trials and there are tragedies. There are adversities in everyone's life, and we work our way through that. I don't call it karma, but I do think that what you put out, you reap. So what you sow, you reap. If you put out negativity, negativity will come your way. If you are, a person who puts out kindness and puts out morality, those things will be returned to you in some form or fashion. And we're just going to have to see with these investigations as to whether or not, will the chickens come home to roost with the Biden crime family? Will they finally be held accountable? There's a great deal of cynicism out there. Not everybody, in fact, a lot of people don't think that anything will be done. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton. Look what they've done to Trump compared to all of these other people. I mentioned Hillary, Bill. We've got Epstein and all of that nonsense and abject horror, and the Biden crime family. So I understand the cynicism. I still believe in our justice system, even though it's weaponized. I still believe there are good men and women out there who will get this job done. We will press forward. That's what we do. We never give up, no matter the nonsense that we face, no matter the lack of what appears to be non-justice, no matter the lack of justice, no matter the lack of what we think are, results, we will still press forward. But I do think that these things are going to pile up on Biden as he enters into this campaign. He's going to have to answer for them. And what we're going to see is something, I think, much darker. I think when we look at this entire situation of the Biden crime family, it's much, much darker than what I think most of us have realized. What we're going to see is beyond the money laundering, beyond the shady business deals with Hunter and the rest of the family, we're going to see that there is something there that is much like, if not identical to, treason. And the next set of dark forces stirring amidst all of us and throughout the Republic and really throughout the globe, when you think about it and when you look at it, thanks to the Biden regime and his ties to the World Economic Forum, is the banking catastrophe. That's the next. I mean, we've got the transgender issue out there. I mean, that's still there. And that remains, that whole issue is the number one moral dilemma of our nation right now, the transgender movement. That is enemy number one with regards to the attack on morality in this country. But Biden's regime and his ties to the World Economic Forum and the banking collapse is the economic dark pot that's now stirring its ether out into the world. Silicon Valley Bank last week crashed. Signature Bank a couple weeks ago crashed. Almost every major banking institution in the United States has lost significant value. They've lost their deposits, millions, billions of dollars, and it's on purpose. And the Communist Socialist Party want it this way. As I mentioned at the beginning of the program, the FDIC is broke, folks. They have no more money left to bail out other banks. They spent it all on Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in California. Over in Europe, the bank that's oftentimes held up as the model of all banks, Deutsche Bank in Germany, is said to be on the verge of collapse. And they've got billions, trillions of dollars of deposit. And if that bank collapsed, I don't think that the situation in the banking industry is going to be recoverable. And on top of that, you've got inflation that's again going up out of control. OPEC again announcing a 4% cut in oil production, and we're dependent on that again. We were independent during Trump, but now we're back with our hands tied to the Arab world and OPEC and their production of oil. They're going to cut it by 4%. You know what that's going to do? It's going to make prices go up. We're going to look at a barrel of oil that's going to be over $100. Biden's selling off our strategic reserve supply of oil for no reason. There is no crisis that we should be selling off our strategic reserve of oil, but he's doing it. You see, they laid the groundwork of chaos, and there's not a lot of people that are doing anything about it on our side. I understand that we have a majority in the House and a minority in the Senate, and so there's gridlock to a degree. But I'm talking about conservative men and women in office on our side to find a microphone and get in front of it and a camera, a news crew, and start talking about this. The Communist Socialist Party wanting to do away with the oil. They're putting out the EPA, the new emissions stranglehold on automobiles, making it so that they're going to drive towards electric automobiles because we can't have that dirty, filthy oil. It's bad. It's evil. We need to go to all electric vehicles. Right now, we need to do it. Let's put these strangleholds on this economy. Never mind that we strip mine for the lithium in China, by the way, and in the United States, but mainly in China. We're going to buy the batteries. We're going to buy the raw materials to make the batteries from China. China is outclassing us. They're outmaneuvering us. They're with Iran and with Russia and with Turkey. The dollar is under attack. And we have a weak president and a communist socialist party, formerly known as the Democrat Party, who want this to happen so that the New World Order can come on in and we can get to the central bank digital currency world that they want, where they can really control us. If you spend more than $500, we're going to take a look at that. We might have to shut you down. If you're donating to Doug Billings at DougBillings.us, we're going to have to take a look at that. You know, he's a listed conservative, and he's Catholic on top of it. And we know that those Catholics are domestic terrorists. Oh, we've had our eye on Mr. Billings for quite some time. And they can cut me off and they can cut you off. And that's why they want central bank digital currency, CBDC. Don't confuse them if you're from Raytown with ACDC, which is a whole nother story. Now, they want it all on purpose. They want it to come about at a faster pace. They want electric vehicles now, all of these agenda items of the Green New Deal right now. And the Federal Reserve System is paralyzed by the inflation. And it can't possibly consider raising interest rates, which is typically what you do, because that would further depreciate the banking assets, and the banks can't take it. Next on the list, and they will not talk about it publicly, and they will deny it, is that the Communist Socialist Party and the Biden administration are working actively to cut the Medicare Advantage system. And I'm going to pick up with that when we come back from our break. I do want you to know, DougBillings.us, thebillingsreport.com, that's where I need you to go and subscribe. Subscribe to the program, please. It's voluntary. Everything that we do is free. You can watch and listen for free. Please help us. DougBillings.us or the Billings Report. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the trip into capitalism here. I know you're going to enjoy it. I'll be right back on the other side of the break. God bless you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, Electro Magnetic Pulse. Electro Magnetic Pulse, ladies and gentlemen. It can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPShield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. I'm Doug Billings, talking about the right side of health. Becoming the best version of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is important. You see this device over here? It's a little water, hydrogen water, ladies and gentlemen, hydrogen-infused water. The health benefits of this are incredible and well documented. I want you to go to holyhydrogen.com. Look this machine up. Use the promo code Doug to get $100 off. They have a payment plan. They have a top tier 1 customer service center. You're going to want to take advantage of this and learn all about it. It takes care of the swelling in your gut. It clears up mind fog. Listen, cancer, glaucoma, the results of the jab, all of these things have been documented to show increased benefits by virtue of infused water with hydrogen. Holyhydrogen.com, ladies and gentlemen. Promo code Doug. Believe it for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings. The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings. You are a blessing in my life. And with every move I make and every breath I take, I'm trying hard to get the truth out there to you. I hope you appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for the emails you send. Thanks for the messages on the social media platforms that I'm on. I'm on Truth Social most of the time, at Doug Billings, over at Twitter, the same name, at Doug Billings. And we appreciate you very much. I really, really do. DougBillings.us is the place you need to go. DougBillings.us, and voluntarily subscribe to the program over there, please. All right. The next agenda item on the Communist Socialist Party, formerly known as the Democratic Party, is that they are going to cut the Medicare Advantage system. They're going to cut it. And I'm not saying eliminate it, but they're going to cut it significantly, which provides care. This system, the Medicare Advantage system, provides care and assistance and relief to millions and millions of senior citizens throughout the Republic. The cuts would take the form usually of $50 or more of covered services each month, focused primarily on dental and vision care. So all of that, ladies and gentlemen, is heaped up in massive weight. So that Medicare, that's a huge deal. We've talked about the oil, the inflation, the banks, the transgender movement, and what they're pushing there with their coalition of immorality. We've talked about how Biden, will he or won't he run? And there's a question there. But it weighs heavily on anybody who occupies the Oval Office and who is considering perhaps a run for a second term. So that's a lot for anybody to overcome. We know that there are people that are brainwashed and propagandized so that they don't care. They are partisans and they don't care that Biden and his Communist Socialist Party, formerly known as the Democratic Party, is doing this on purpose to the country. I get that. So we appeal to the people of this country who have intellectual maturity, who have the ability to look at this with a critical eye and a mind and to think and to rationalize and to analyze what is going on. And I realize this is not America. This is not what America is intended to be. And we have got to begin to focus on the youth of this nation and to save them. Yes, to save them. We have had too many generations of parents who have not done it. They've raised generations of wussies. People who, the transgender movement is a prime example. But you can't imagine any of you, I'm sure, anybody out there with a rational mind thinking, yeah, baby. Hey, Joe, thanks, man. Thanks, Kamala. Appreciate you, Vice Pretender. Yes. Oh, yes, ma'am. Love it. I love what you're doing to the country. Give me more of this. I've got to have so much more. In fact, I want to wake up with more chaos. Can we invent something that will cause, because you haven't really done enough. I need more. It's like, I want more cowbell. I want more chaos. And they're there to deliver it. I'm telling you, because not only is this going to, I think, ultimately backfire, we've got now Trump. The indictment of Trump is behind him, because not only is it behind him, he's bolstered by it. He's got a 7-point bounce in the polls, and he's got a 10-point, I should say, bounce and a 7-point now lead over Biden. Technically speaking, Biden doesn't really have to announce his candidacy until later this fall. I get it, September, October, if that's what they're going to do. But that's when the early primary states begin their work, when the primaries start. And so you would assume that he's got to certainly do it by then. But he can't raise any money until he declares. So Trump's automatically outpacing Biden in fundraising. He's got a vast treasure chest now. The indictments, I think the 7 million, 10 million that week came in of the indictment. And so now we look at the other people who may be getting involved in this thing. On the left-hand side of the aisle, we've got Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Now, let's be clear about Gavin. He's considering giving reparations to every black person in the state of California. He's created a reparations task force, which is looking into all of this. And the last set of numbers posted last week was that every black person in California stands to get $360,000 each. And this would cost billions of dollars. It goes back to, 8 or 9 generations. Well, your great grandfather was a slave. Okay, $360,000. Step right up. What it is, ladies and gentlemen, and this is really the point that I want to make, these reparations that Gavin Newsom is offering, it's bribery. And I'm not kidding. Bribery. He's buying votes. He's bribed every black person in America now. If you vote for me, I'm going to give you money, and lots of it. Giving the people who are beginning to vocalize interest in all of this, he is now speaking out in South Carolina. He's on this road trip that he hasn't announced a presidential candidacy yet, but it sure looks like he's doing one. So he's doing his road show, and he is making promises, and he's bribing black Americans. He's not the top of the list. I don't think he's a viable contender, really. I mean, for the nomination, yeah. I mean, I think he's an up-and-comer, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think quite yet. There's just something there that I think is missing. But then you have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So Bobby Kennedy Jr. running. He's declared his candidacy, and he should be taken seriously. He's got a long record of speaking out against, these things that typical Democrats would like, the Communist Socialist Party likes, the Green New Deal issues, the cleanliness of waters, streams, lakes, and ponds, that kind of thing. Lately, very much against the mandatory vaccines and the overreach of the federal government, the shutdowns of businesses and economies, and so forth. I think, when we say in the earlier segment, we got to save the youth of this country, I think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to appeal to the Generation Z folks out there for sure. I think that he just will do that. He's got that kind of personality. I like what he says a lot of the time. I'm not going to vote for him, but I like what he says. Seems to be a genuine guy. I like his stance on the vaccines, obviously, and his ideas on the federal government being limited in what they can mandate. But, if you look through this through the eyes of history, his candidacy reminds me of Eugene McCarthy's, who ran against Lyndon Johnson in 1968. All right. Now, just like today, no one in the establishment would challenge Lyndon Johnson, and nobody is challenging Biden from the establishment. Nobody from the squad, no young up and coming communist socialist, formerly known as a Democrat, is challenging Joe Biden. And it was the same way with McCarthy and Lyndon Johnson. Now, McCarthy did step in, just like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is stepping in. McCarthy did so well back then in the early primaries that Lyndon Johnson withdrew from the race. McCarthy did it. He was doing so well. And it was then that the real candidate with clout and chutzpah and winning potential came forward, and that was Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr.'s dad, right? And if it wasn't for, very sadly so, if it wasn't for Sirhan, we would have had another Kennedy as president in the United States. Like I said, I like RFK Jr. a lot. I'm not going to vote for him, but he's a reasonable human being. He represents, I think, the last of the traditional Democrats, because I got news for you, and I mean it, and I've said this before, everybody in elected office right now on that side in Washington, D.C. is not a Democrat. They are a communist socialist. The Democratic Party in Washington, D.C. in the elected class does not exist. I've said it for 3 years. And then, of course, you've got always the pesky problem and possibility of Michelle Obama, as I mentioned earlier in the show. These issues that are stirring up, all of the ones that I mentioned for Biden, are going to apply to her. And yes, she will have a certain amount of popularity surrounding her. She will have a celebrity aura around her. People know her. They will want to elect her because she's a woman, because she's a black woman, because she's the wife of Barack, and because they want a husband and wife, tag team in the presidency. There'll be all of these historical nuances that people will want to, consider. But she's going to have to open her mouth. And she's going to have to declare a position on these issues that we face. And there is our avenue to win. Is she going to agree with Newsom that every black American gets reparations? I mean, that's a question she's going to have to answer. Does she think that critical race theory should be taught in our public school curriculums? Does she believe that America is a systemically racist country, that white people are systemically racist, that the founding fathers were racist, that our country is cursed? Does she believe in defunding the police? She's going to have to answer for these things. And the debate and the campaign will be, I think, our way to win. And we will see. There's a lot of people out there trying to convince you that people don't like Trump anymore, that his personality is worn too thin, that he's outstayed his welcome. Don't believe it for a second. Check out the Rasmussen polls and make sure that you don't buy in. But remember, if the mainstream media or anybody in the Communist Socialist Party, formerly known as Democrats, are telling you anything, you can pretty much be sure that the opposite is true. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time, dagnabbit. That's all we've got for today. I will be back tomorrow, never fear. Remember, DougBillings.us. Head over there and subscribe. DougBillings.us. Please, ladies and gentlemen, for the Republic, I stand with you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Doug Billings here on the set of my show, The Right Side. I am standing shoulder to shoulder with Mike Lindell and his employees over at MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Billings when you go over there to MyPillow.com. Everything that you need. You already know about the sheets, the pillows, obviously the pillows, the slippers, the best slippers in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They even have dog beds and pet beds over there. I've got 2 of them for my service dog, Jet. Absolutely, I do. MyPillow.com. Stand shoulder to shoulder with me and Mike Lindell as we support his employees as he endeavors to become one of the refounders, if you will, one of the refounding fathers of our republic. It's the least we can do. MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Please, ladies and gentlemen, MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Believe it, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, Electro Magnetic Pulse. Electro Magnetic Pulse, ladies and gentlemen, it can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPShield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. I'm Doug Billings, talking about the right side of health. Becoming the best version of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is important. You see this device over here? It's a little water, hydrogen water, ladies and gentlemen, hydrogen-infused water. The health benefits of this are incredible and well documented. I want you to go to holyhydrogen.com. Look this machine up. Use the promo code Doug to get $100 off. They have a payment plan. They have a top tier 1 customer service center. You're going to want to take advantage of this and learn all about it. It takes care of the swelling in your gut. It clears up mind fog. Listen, cancer, glaucoma, the results of the jab, all of these things have been documented to show increased benefits by virtue of infused water with hydrogen. Holyhydrogen.com, ladies and gentlemen, promo code Doug. Believe it, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.